Hi, I'm Beth Blackerby, creator of violinlab.com. And if you're watching this video, chances are you're brand new to violin playing. Maybe you have an instrument, maybe you don't. I hope I can give you some useful information to help in your choice for purchase. Ideally, if you have a local string shop, it's your best bet because there you have customer service. They're going to stand behind the instrument. If you have any issues, you're going to be able to just take it in, have things taken care of. If you don't, then best thing to do really is to go with a reputable online company like Charm Music. They stand behind their products. They have money-back guarantees. They have numbers to call if you have any issues with the instrument. Now, most beginning instruments are made in China these days, and they might have different labels. Don't be fooled by the labels. Some labels make them sound more exotic or sound Italian. In reality, most of them are from China, and there are really excellent ones, finely crafted, and then ones that aren't so good. For the long term, in the grand scheme of things, the more money you spend on the violin, the better quality it is, the more impact that's going to have on your sound, on your tone in the future. Short term, it doesn't matter so much the quality of the instrument. You can buy an instrument for $100 and it will suffice. What you really need to spend the money and the attention is with the setup. Okay, so what I mean by setup are all the little parts that go into making the violin really playable. And we frequently see instruments where people have purchased and then the manufacturers or the company that has sold the instrument has saved costs on a cheap setup. Okay, so that's really what we're going to talk about in this video, so that you're well informed, you know what to look for. So to start with, okay, there are a trio here of little parts that really work together to make the violin very playable. And that's the bridge, the fingerboard, and the nut here. So just starting with the bridge, okay. Bridges come basically shaped like a bridge, but they're blanks. Now, blank bridge might look like a bridge, but that's just about it. From there, a skilled luthier shapes the bridge. You can see a very specific angle here on top so that it makes going from string to string very easy. And they're also thinned and they're fit exactly to the top of the instrument so that the feet are very flush. If not, the bridge can easily warp or even fall over. And then the next piece of this puzzle is the fingerboard, and the neck of the instrument and the fingerboard, as you can see, is at an angle so that it, generally matches the slope of the string from the nut to the bridge. And another thing about the fingerboard is that it's also scooped on top, and it's not something you can really just see by looking. But if you were to press a string down here close to the bridge and then here close to the nut, there actually should be a little sliver of space. There should be some light underneath the string. And if there's not, what happens is when you press the string down, you'll get a buzzing. You'll get these little buzzes, which really is the sound of the string vibrating and hitting the fingerboard. And then this little piece of wood here is called the nut, and that elevates the strings off the fingerboard, and that really has to be a very specific height to it. Sometimes it's too high, which then makes it really hard to press the strings down, and it'll tire the left hand. So all these things, as you can see, have to be really meticulously crafted for the instrument. And then a lot of violins come with really cheap strings. They're just pieces of wire, and they have a really twangy sound. So it's worth the investment to get a set of really good quality strings, and you can get a set of good student strings like the D'Addario Prelude set for under $20. And you also want to, in the beginning, have fine tuners on the instrument. And this right here is called the tailpiece, and this particular tailpiece has built-in fine tuners. So that makes for easy tuning because with inexpensive instruments, the pegs generally don't fit well enough to use them to turn. If you do try to tune the instrument with the pegs, you will run into a mountain of frustration. It takes a very talented luthier to fit pegs such that they turn easily, they stick, and you can really tune the instrument with ease using the pegs. So in the beginning, you will be using these fine tuners. So it's really a good idea to start with the fine tuners. And if you have an older instrument, something that's been around for a while, you might want to make sure that the little piece here of cord that attaches the tailpiece to the button is new, updated. Sometimes they're made of gut and they're about ready to break, and a lot of times they do break and then the tailpiece flies off. And it's not a horrible thing, it's just a little scary when that happens. And then as you improve and you want to spend more money on the instrument itself, get something more expensive to get a better quality of sound, then usually the other parts are also going to be more quality too. You would of course expect that the fingerboard is made of ebony. Sometimes it'll be a painted wood, which you can spot easily if you just look underneath here, the fingerboard. And then the pegs, of course, would be ebony or rosewood or boxwood, not another kind of painted hardwood, and they'll be fitted really well so that turning them is easy to do. So that plus a chin rest and a shoulder pad should get you started. And then a quick mention of bow. Now there are, all kinds of bows, different prices, and generally speaking, I think a good value for the money are the carbon fiber bows that have been engineered to play like a more expensive bow. And so sometimes that's a good way to get the feel of a quality bow, but yet not have to spend too much up front. And then you can also buy wooden bows. That's fine. Sometimes the lesser expensive bows, the wood can be soft, a little, as we'd like to say, kind of floppy in the middle. So you want to make sure that it has good resistance, kind of on the stiff side. If you have an old bow, again, the grandma's old violin, chances are the wood bow almost looks straight, and you get out of the case, and if it's almost a straight line here, it's lost its camber, and probably the hair needs replacing. If it's down to about half the hair, then it's time to get new bow hair, and it's worth getting it rehaired. So see if there's a local shop in your area, or stick with some of the more reputable online companies, and then hopefully that information is going to help you with your decision.